Don't tell mom the babysitter's dead. There's a remake coming out in just a couple weeks, so I thought I could be fun to talk about this movie. If you are asking why in 2024 am I holding up a DVD and not a Blu-ray or 4K, this movie only has a DVD. I actually bought this off $4 off of Amazon, so I'm pretty sure you can still get that for $4. But yeah, we'll see how the remake turns out, but I will say I like this movie, but it's not as good as I remember. I've only seen this movie like once or twice before doing this video. And I remember the movie being a lot more fun than it is. Also, I don't remember the movie being as long as it is. This movie's an hour and 40 minutes. Why in the world is like a family movie from the 90s? This is like a TV movie, I believe. I believe this was a TV movie. It doesn't feel like a theatrical release. Like, this does not feel like a movie I would have seen in theaters in the 90s. But it is like ridiculously long. Like, I don't get that. That's the biggest issue with the movie. This is a fun movie, but I feel like this movie is trying to be like adventures and babysitting type movie, where like, you know, that kind of like kids adventure type movie, but like it's not as fun. And you know, Christina Applegate is fun in the movie, but it's very 90s. And I definitely remember it being 90s, but not as 90s as it is. And that's why I was kind of weirded out when I found out there was a remake coming out in theaters in just a couple weeks. It's kind of weird because this movie's like very much of its time. It's the people who grew up with this movie love this movie, and nobody else. Not in a bad way. It's not a bad movie. Like, if you haven't seen this movie before and you watch it now, you're not gonna hate it. But it's definitely like got a lot of 90s isms that if you're not a fan of, it might bug you a lot. Like, I don't know, like, you're not gonna see this girl get hired at this business company like she is in this movie. You're not gonna see a lot of the things that go down in this movie happen the way they do. I like this movie still to some extent, but I don't think I'll ever be really revisiting this movie too much, just because I forgot how long this movie is for like no reason, and just it wasn't as good as I remember, and that's unfortunate. And it's a movie that, I don't know, in some ways, some of these older movies that you grew up with are better staying in your memory than ever really revisiting, and that's one of these movies.